showing you a few of my organization things. I chose, let me back up a little bit. I chose glass front cabinets just here. I was a little worried about glass front because, again, it needs to be nice and neat and orderly. And the guy at the Home Depot, at the IKEA store, said, you know, add some glass just in a couple of them. So I did, and I'm pretty happy with it. I use the glass front cabinets for my stamps. And right now, I have my stamps divided by retired and not retiring. So generally, I do sentiments and then current, like things that I'm going to use, maybe, you know, holiday or occasions catalog, and up here. And then this is usually all the other things from the annual catalog. And they just kind of spill over, you know, usually once all of those are gone, then this is what I work with. And as this cabinet fills, I start to fill the other one. So I also had to install these little handles myself, and they were pretty easy, not too bad. My husband left that job for me, made me nervous, but it worked. So over here, that's what I have, stamps in that cabinet. And then below, these I have used for years. They are also from IKEA, and I can't remember what they're called. I'll list it on the blog post, but they are like $2 each, and they're super sturdy, and our punches sit beautifully on them. They just, you know, sit like that. And I really need these things out to see them, and to just be able to put them out. I think this is the best way for me to organize. In a drawer, it just never really worked out very well for me. All right, so in the next cabinet, you can see I have my markers in there. I also have a few of my ink pads that are not just, you know, the colors, or StazOn, Versamark. Paper towels, I always need paper towels. My iPad holder, my receipts are tucked in behind there. You can kind of see them. But that's what that cabinet is, kind of just a catch-all. This cabinet right here, again, we talked about, those are the stamps. And below, this is my ink pad holder. You can get something that looks identical to this from Stamp & Storage. My husband, years ago, when we were young and didn't have any money, built this for me for my birthday. He was able to put it together because I couldn't afford to order one myself. So it kind of has special meaning because my husband built it. It's definitely not perfect, but it definitely works. And I like having my inks out to be able to see them. But if you want one of these, check Stamp & Storage. So this is where I sit. My chair is super cute. It is from TJ Maxx. Super cute, however, super uncomfortable. Still trying to figure something out. I've tried a couple of seats, and I haven't liked any of them, but I really like the way that one looks. I don't know if I would call it a regret about this office. I don't love sitting at counter height. I miss, in my old office, sitting at, you know, table, I guess it would be called table height. So that's been a problem for me, getting used to that. But I didn't want there to be, you know, counter dip down like that. I didn't want that. So I figured I would do the counter height, but the chair has been a big issue. And I like to sit when I work, so I'm not a stander. But I have found that since moving in here, I stand more just because it's easier than that chair. So this is where I sit and I do my computer work. I bought a little laptop stand from Amazon, and it helps because I can tuck in my pertinent information, things, my to-do list, some orders, things like that right under there. And then I still have workspace because I was finding that my laptop was taking up too much space while I was trying to work and design. Let's see what else I have over here. In this little jar right here, I just keep the things I use most frequently: pencil, paper snips, ruler, the spoon to ink my my ink pads, and then the TV, the all-important TV. I watch TV. You guys can see me. I watch TV while I work. And so the cable box is down there. That's been another issue, cords and stuff, but still tweaking things like that. The decorations on top of my cabinet are just kind of a hodgepodge of things. Old antique little sewing machine, and an antique stamper, and a scrapbook page of my husband when he was a kid. just some of my favorite projects. My pink typewriter. So those are just some things I put up there to make it look pretty. Okay, so let's continue over here. I do not like corner cabinets. I'll tell you that right now. Corner cabinets are difficult to work with. In here I just have business stuff. Paperwork. Up there at the top are all my old catalogs and Stamp and Success. And just, you know, paper clips and all that. Just, you know, random office-y junk kind of things are in there. This cabinet is my favorite. Can you guess what's in here? What do you think I have put in here? This is my favorite cabinet and has worked out well. Let me shut that one and open this one. All my cardstock. And my paper sorters, I've also had these for years. They're, again, from TJ Maxx. And you can't always find them there. TJ Maxx Home Goods is the same thing. I don't know what you guys call it. We have a TJ Maxx Home Goods and a Home Goods. And I am in there frequently looking for these paper sorters. They're perfect. And this cabinet I picked for paper. I made it 36 inches wide so that I could fit 3 paper sorters. And I found that when I tried to get my paper sorters in here, they were like a sliver too thick. So we removed, you can see right here, we just removed one panel and just slid that in and it fit perfect. So I arranged my paper by neutrals, brights, in colors, regals and subtles, and then up here is my thick whisper white. I have a lot of mint macaron right now, so I don't have room down here, so I put it up there. Some vellum. I think that's it. Maybe some of the sparkle, the shimmer white. So that's how I organize my cardstock full packets. It works really, really well. All right, so we move over from the cardstock, and these 2 cabinets are just to store general crafty goodness. I mean, that's all I can say. That's the only way I can explain it. So these boxes, let's see, right here are awesome, and they're from Target. I like how they stack. They have a lid. They're low profile, and they fit really well. These came from my other craft room. I had bought them for those cabinets, but they work perfectly in here. So I keep my cello bags down here because I do a lot of class kits. And then, let's see, I have gusseted bags, more small cello bags, clear envelopes, muslin pennants, just all that stuff that you don't know where to go. You know, we need lots of little storage, little things you can't put in big boxes. So I've got little boxes for all of those things. And these are my spritzers right there. Up top, my big hot glue gun mess, Sharpies, journal, you know, the craft journals, retired markers and inkers. And in that box is paint, I believe craft paint. And then envelopes on the bottom shelf, lots and lots of envelopes, retired ink pads and double ink pads. Sometimes for, like around Christmas, I need more than one Real Red and more than one cherry cobbler. So I have duplicates of ink pads and stuff for classes. That box, that Sterilite box, I believe has a craft iron in it and some random like school pictures and stuff that need to go in scrapbooks. And then specialty paper and stencils. So in the specialty paper box are chipboard and coaster board and tissue paper, things like that. All right, after the crafty goodness is another corner cabinet, and I don't even want to open it, you guys. Oh my God, it's so messy. But this is where I keep candy and snacks. Candy for classes, snacks for me. Photo boxes back there. That tub right there that has an E on it is from my classroom when I taught school. That's why it has an E on it. But in there are all the envelopes that hold our framelits, the plastic envelopes, because I don't like keeping them in those. I'll show you how I keep them in a second. But I don't want to throw the envelopes away, so I keep them all stored in that random box. And then I have some Project Life stuff. I guess we could just say this is my junk cabinet, one junk cabinet, but I know where everything is, so I wouldn't call it totally disorganized. And the last cabinet is my skinny little cabinet I picked specifically for catalogs and order forms. So that's that. Underneath, you may have noticed, I get a lot of questions about my framelits. I am not super nice and neat, okay? So I try to be organized and clean because this room's right off the front of my house. However, I need things out and quick because I know that if I keep these in those little plastic sleeves that they come in, I'm not going to take the time to put them back in the correct plastic sleeve. I'm just going to throw them in the basket and it's going to be a mess. So years ago, I discovered these. They are knife holders. So they're designed for the kitchen where you put it on the wall and you can put your knife on there. So I discovered, I believe the first time I ordered them were from Zulily, and they came and they were spectacular. They're super strong and they hold really well. I tried a sheet of magnet, like a magnetic sheet from the craft store, and they would always fall off. But these are so strong, these never fall off. And luckily, if I happen to knock one off, it's just the counter underneath, so it's okay. I highly recommend this storage for you. And you can see I've ordered them from all different places, so they don't all match. I ordered some from Zulily, some from Amazon, and some from IKEA. These, I can't remember. I think these actually came from IKEA. So they're hodgepodge, but I don't care. I love the way that they hold my framelits. And that's the big shot right there. One of my big shots where I do use my framelits. All right. So let's talk about what's underneath the countertops. Down here, another corner cabinet. You guys, I thought these were going to be great, and they are not. I cannot stand organizing them. This one, I have Sterilite drawers, and so I have things like clothespin, spray paint, burlap, just, again, all that little junky stuff. Old cardstock, and then bags, more candy, that I use for when I'm designing stuff. And then back there I just throw some extra display boxes, things that I use to photograph with. It drives me crazy, and I know you can buy shelves and stuff for these, but it just still, I don't know, it hasn't worked well for me. But again, we're still tweaking, still working on it.